Welcome to another bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. Well, it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are going to miss the playoffs for a third straight year, yet fan support is still there. People are still obsessed with this team. Why do you think that the fan base is still supporting this team and hasn't left them behind? Stu, what's your take on all that?
Well, as I've said, the Canadiens have basically become, over the last 10, 15 years or so, it's reality TV almost. It's like 24/7, right? Every game's on TV. There's pregame shows, there's postgame shows, there's 24-hour sports networks, there's shows like ours. And all we do is talk about the Canadiens, and people can't get enough of this team, win or lose, it seems. And it's, I remember back in the days when I was growing up, you got the Canadiens on TV once a week on Saturday night, maybe the odd Wednesday night game, but you didn't see every single game on TV, and you didn't have the post-game shows, and you didn't have podcasts, and you didn't have everything else. So it wasn't, the Canadiens weren't in your mind 24/7. Now with Twitter and everything else, Canadiens fans, it's constantly being fed Canadian stuff, and it's an insatiable appetite. It really is. People cannot get enough. And also in Montreal, they're really the only game in town. I mean, the Alouettes won the Grey Cup championship this year, and hopefully that'll help them build their fan base and whatnot moving forward. But again, I remember when I was young, the Alouettes and the Expos and the Canadiens were Canadiens were always number one, but the other teams were sort of here. The Alouettes were a big deal back. Now the gap is just huge, and it's become like reality TV, and people just cannot get enough of the Canadiens. They want to know everything about them. And when the Expos were here at the end and they were drawing 4,000, 5,000 fans at the Big O, I used to joke, but it's probably true, that if the Canadiens played a charity softball game at the Big O, they would have drawn more fans than the Expos for a Major League Baseball game. So it's just a case of people can't get enough of them. There's constant coverage, and people live, sleep, breathe Canadiens in this city.
And the style of play they're playing, it's entertaining. I mean, it's all about, let's go. We got the puck. Let's get everybody involved. And, how many games have we seen where they're up and down the ice without any whistles, and, the fans are chanting and they're loving it. And there's the guys in general put on a pretty good show with quite a bit of talent. So the bottom line out of all of this is about entertainment, and they're providing that most often. And it's nice to see, and obviously the fans appreciate it because they're coming out, and they're cheering and they're chanting even when they're down a little bit. But they're fun to watch. They're young and they're fast, and the brand of hockey that they're playing is one of, let's be entertained tonight, and they do it.
Yeah, I guess the best way I can explain this, and maybe not explain it, was I was talking to Big Serge one night, and he had gone to the game the previous night, and they lost, I don't know, they got smoked. It was like 7-2 or something. They got smoked. He said, I come outside the Bell Center, and he said, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. What's happened here? And it's true. Back in the day, I mean, if we tied a game, they'd be pissed off, things have certainly changed. I think a lot has to do with what you said, Stu. People love going to Bell Center, having that experience. Teams come in here. They love playing in here. It's a great environment, all that. But, boy, it's a tough one to explain. Yeah, all I can say is, like you said, Stu, back in the day, the Alouettes, the Expos, they were right there, but the Habs were top dog. This has always been it's not a hockey town. It's not a football town. It's not a baseball town. It is a Habs town, and it is. And that'll never change. And hopefully they get back to where, this fan base wants them to be. And that's competitive every year, going into the playoffs and having a shot to win the Stanley Cup. And I know how difficult that is today. Not like back in the day, but I hope they get there.
Yeah, you have a good chunk of the fan base that's never experienced a Stanley Cup, right? I mean, 1993 was the last time. They don't know. I mean, we saw in 2021 when they got to the final, and when they won the it's the Eastern Conference. I think it was the Western Conference final, right, during that COVID that they won. They go to the Cup, and people were just ready to burn the city down. I can't imagine what it would be like if this team actually won a Stanley Cup again, because there's so many fans who don't have any idea what it's like. I've told this story before. In my 5 years in high school, the Canadiens won 4 Stanley Cups. Every year you skipped school one day and you went to the Stanley Cup parade. You almost took it for granted. Those days have changed. And again, as you said, Montreal isn't really a great sports town. I mean, junior hockey's failed here many times. The Alouettes left and came back. The Expos left. But it's a Habs town. This city is a Habs town, and people can't get enough.
But you know what I also wonder with Martin St. Louis as the coach? I feel like more people have trust in him and the direction it's going. Them watching him as a player, him being a Hall of Famer, that I think maybe that's also why some of the fans might have a little bit more patience, is that they just have more trust in the coaching staff right now.
Yeah, I agree totally. I mean, you can make an argument that Marty St. Louis is one of the biggest stars on the team, right? You got Cole Caulfield, and then Marty St. Louis might be second behind him, maybe even ahead of Nick Suzuki as far as it comes to stars in this city.
Well, let us know in the comment section below why you think the fans are still supporting this team despite their struggles, and make sure to go to Hockey Inside Out to see our full episode.